Welcome everyone. Today I have a new guide for Path of Exile 2 to how to spawn citadels more predictively. Now over here you can see I have written some learning notes as you can see over here, and there's some method that is quite interesting and scientifically it seems to be matching with the previous method, but this one has a more predictive approach to the method, and I'll be going through everything with you guys in this video. So what is happening is some of my viewers actually directed me to have a look at the YouTuber Elden Saul over here, and after having a look, and also thank you for Aaron4844 for sharing us with this new update, a lot of my friends and also our viewers has tested this and it seems to be working. Now myself, I haven't gotten to test this because I'm in the process of changing my gears for a new build and I'm actually stuck here. I'm trying to get some better stats and out of dexterity, which is really annoying. So back to the guide. So over here, the YouTuber Elden over here has been posting a number of discoveries, testings over 300 maps for the Citadel, and he has revealed something quite interesting. And in order for us to understand this, I have clipped about 2 minutes of his video to give you guys a brief summary. Then we're going to come over to the notes to see what is exactly happening. Again, credits and also thank you to Elden over here, and make sure you guys subscribe and also follow him for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And before we dive into this method, guys, keep in mind, guys, even though some of my viewers and also even my friends has found this one to be working, please have a grain of salt, because every theory we have been trying and also testing for spawning citadels can be luck generated. But this one does seem to have merits, and as we go through the video, you start to see the reason why I want to share this with you guys. Don't worry, guys, it's not about corpses, it is quite scientific, and let's have a look at the short clip over here. So coming over to the short clip, and let's see what Elden has to say in a summary for this method.
I found 3 additional citadels from clearing 75 of those maps. Then, we can also take into account 55 maps that I cleared. From all this info, it makes me think that it's 1 citadel per around 25 or 30 maps. A lot of you have obviously cleared more than like 100 maps, let's say, and you might have never even found a single citadel, right? If you meet the requirement, when you're going into the fog, when you're generating new content, the game might decide to replace one of the chunks with a citadel. All you need to do is just find it then. So that's why, if you're going in a straight line, you into the fog, you reveal all the area around yourself, maps. The game will generate content around these maps. So this would be the content that's generated. So you revealing all of this area will very likely guarantee a citadel. If not, this would be around 1 screen width. You will very likely find a citadel. If not, it's gonna be like just outside somewhere, like this. And to kind of prove this, I ran one final test on a little bit bigger sample size, and the results are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 citadels, all pretty much in one place, just going straight up. Now, to do this test, I set up a cage. I ran in a straight line on the left and on the right, and I tried to set up an area of ungenerated fog like this, and this little inside ring is the fog with towers, so this is where the citadels generally aren't gonna be. And I pre-ran 170 maps, and then I just ran into the fog in a straight line and found all the citadels. It took me 60 nodes to find all of them. I think that's all of them. There might be one more, but from what I can tell, the number 25 to 30 maps per citadel is correct. So at this point, there's 0 doubts in my mind that there shouldn't be any in yours that is how citadels spawn. You can replicate this habit.
So that was the summary. Now, if you do want to watch Elden's video, I do recommend coming to the last 2 videos which he explained the things he just shared over here. And because he was demonstrating in live in game, I did clip a little shorter to make things more summarized for you guys. Now, in case this is not clear enough, over here I have some learning notes coming from Elden, and again, a big thank you for him and also credits for him for discovering this method. At the same time, because we need more testing, so in the later part of the video, guys, if you do and if you are testing using this more scientific predictive spawning method, let us know in the comments below if this is working for you. Because it has worked for a few of my friends who clears very fast, within a minute or two, within the maps, just blinking around and just spamming around with the latest builds. And if you haven't seen those builds are crazy. Make sure you check out the links below. They clear everything in 1 minute. So using those methods, let's come over to the summary of Elden's map and Citadel generation theory first, and then we'll go through the scientific method of strategically spawning citadels in a predictive manner. So what we're looking over here is Elden's Citadel generation method. He talks about having a minimum requirement before you can spawn a citadel. And this number can be anywhere around 25 to 30 nodes of maps cleared before the game itself will generate your citadels as you reveal new maps and also reveal the maps out of the Fog of War. And as you clear Lost Towers, you reveal maps. So from what he's saying is, if you haven't cleared 25 to 30 nodes, then revealing new maps will not give you a new citadel. And you remember in the short clip over here, he mentioned there are players who has cleared over hundreds of maps, and how come they're not revealing citadels? Is that this particular graph, you can see that he said, around this part of the map, this is where you have revealed. Around here are the new Lost Towers at the edge of the map, and as you clear in a straight line, sometimes this might not be the best way because the citadels might just be outside one scream away on the straight line. So this may be one of the ways you're doing all the straight lines and you're missing them just on the corners or the edge of the citadels. And this may be one of the reasons you're not finding them. So what Elden has done is he has been clearing the maps on tier 1 for the speedy clears, and he has tried to meet the minimum requirement. And as he went further to the uncharted generated maps, those maps, as he revealed the fogs, start to give more citadels. And this is the theory, the Citadel generation theory. We have talked about this in the previous videos, which will talk about how citadels can be generated. And make sure you watch the previous video, how to get 3 fragments instead of 1 when you juice up the keystone found quantity, which is very important for you to get more loots. So coming back to this theory, you might be saying, hey Matt, this is very straightforward. Everyone goes in a straight line. You just telling me to go a little wider on the straight line? Okay, I can do that. So what's so scientific about that? So let's move from the Citadel generation theory to the next particular strategy. It is I'm calling this one Elden's strategic Citadel generation theory. So how this works is, he is recommending to do some prep work before we start the mapping. Yes, similar to mapping and also juicing up maps for tier 18 maps with a lot of bonus rarity. What we can do is we can try to prepare ungenerated zones and stack up the minimum requirement before generating them. And this is what you saw on the second part of the video when Elden was demonstrating and also sharing his method. So what he's been doing is, he first start to clear maps on tier 1 difficulty just because it is faster. And as he clear tier 1 difficulty, he's gonna purposely leave the middle part of this map to be ungenerated, and this is covered by Fog of War. He ran 170 plus maps or nodes on both sides, so maybe 85 here, 85 here. So both of the sides have been cleared. And what that means is, now that he has met the minimum requirement, and the minimum requirement was about 25 to 30 knots, right? So now that he has met the minimum requirement over 5 or 6 times, he is going to then clear the middle part. And if you remember in the previous video,
the final test on a little bit bigger sample size, and the results are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 citadels.
So he spawned 8 citadels in the middle of the zone. So this is the more predictive spawning citadel strategic method. So after meeting multiple times the minimum requirement, as he clear maps with the frog now, it is more likely that he can be spawning multiple citadels as he clear this part. And because the Citadels have no way to spawn in on either side because those are already cleared, he pretty much forcing the Citadel to spawn in a line as they move upwards. So that said, basically the method is he cleared a bunch of the map speed runs with tier 1s on the left and also on the right, leaving the middle one to be fogged. And then he cleared the middle one, which also took him around 60 knots. So altogether, it took him around 280 knots to find 8 Citadels. And in this way, you are spawning and also forcing Citadels in the direction you want to be searching. Now it does take a bit of prep work, and sometimes as you do the prep work, you might even find the Citadels. But this pretty good prep work and also the method forces the Citadels to spawn the places you want them to be. And I guess this is quite interesting, right? Now, if you remember from our previous notes, what we have mentioned in both the Chinese and English community, a lot of content creators, myself included, we have found that Citadels tend to spawn more than once together. They tend to have groups and they tend to spawn together. And this Citadel generation theory and also prediction kind of help to solve the reason why Citadels are spawning together. Because often or not, guys, when getting a lot of minimum requirements, we have cleared over 70 knots before we found the first Citadel. And because we have cleared enough for 2 or 3 Citadel to spawn, this is why it is likely the Citadels are spawning next to each other, because you have met the minimum requirements multiple times, and as you cover through the fog of war, you'll be spawning more Citadels within a short instance. And after that, as you clear a bunch of more maps, you save up the minimum requirements and then you spawn them randomly. The good part about this method is that if you follow this method, you can potentially spawn them more predictively, so less waste of missing them and also more directly going in a straight line to find them. Now over here, Elden has also mentioned in his videos that it is possible he has noticed that 5 to 10% of the players may be having a bugged eggless. And I have heard my friends mentioning about this. Sometimes it's just unpathable terrains, sometimes you just meet dead ends, sometimes the maps are not generating correctly. And if that is the case, this could be one of the reasons why a lot of players are getting much lower or even no Citadel generated at all. Because some part of the map generation, the seeding for the maps are just not correctly adjusted. So this is a little concerning. I'm not sure if this is the case, but I can't say that if this method doesn't work for you guys, it's because your map is bugged, but just keep in mind. And we're waiting for the future of the patch notes to see if they mention anything about the map generation. And I'm sure most of you have met dead ends before, and I have met a few ones in my game as well. So the dead ends are not good. They lead to nothing, and sometimes they lead to a dead end without any waste of getting to the Citadel, which is the most annoying part. Now, hopefully this latest discovery of the Citadel method helps you guys in farming for more items. And again, guys, make sure you watch the previous two videos as I explain and also share more method of juicing up the Citadel so you can get 3 fragments guaranteed pretty much. And this means you get over 1, 2, or even 7 divine jobs coming from those Citadels. Again, a big thank you to all of the viewers who's been sharing with me on Discord and also on comments. If you have any great tips to share, guys, we can share with the community after learning this one together. And again, a big thank you to Ed and Saul for sharing this one. Make sure to follow him for the latest update for new methods. Now, hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Mattjestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least 1 Path of Exile video a day, and this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos. Now, before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so, because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is going to be a big month for us. and I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.